Let's jump into the demo of our POC. What you can see here is the landing page of our advanced cash forecasting report. We are currently in a so-called Power BI app. Users of Power BI will be familiar with this. The first page of the advanced cash forecasting report is the dashboarding page. On this page, we get a general overview on our situation through analyzing past and future cash in, and we can see the amounts of incoming cash that we can expect over the next few weeks. At the top of the page, we have the header with the filter pane that allows us to adjust the data we are seeing within this report. As you can see on the left, the date of the report is mid-March. This is due to the data set that we used to set up this demo. In reality, you could of course expect to see today's data. Under the header in the cash in overview, we can see KPI on past cash in and future cash in, as well as bar charts displaying historic and future cash in over time. At the very bottom, we can see with how much delays we have to reckon with on average over time. Starting with the filter pane, here we could quickly filter to display data, for example, for only Germany. Or filter to see data only for a specific customer. The cash in overview section shows us actual and forecasted data. In the cash in overview section, we can see actual and forecast numbers. When hovering over the forecast KPI, we can get deeper information on how it is exactly distributed. On the left, in the cash-in review chart, the forecasts are compared to the actuals that later came in reality per calendar week. As you can see from these charts, the forecasts are revolving around the actuals, a good indicator that our forecasts are pretty accurate. On the right, in the cash-in forecast chart, we are only looking into the future, displaying the forecast and a worst and best case scenario per calendar week. The delay of payment at the bottom is an indication on how much our customers have or will miss their payment date, again per calendar week and with an average KPI on top. The chart is divided by this line to indicate that everything from here on onwards is taking place in the future and thus based on our forecast. Also, we can see who exactly these customers are that are the best or the worst at paying our invoices on time by hovering over these bars. This information will also be displayed on the next page. This is the cash-in review page. Here we get a more detailed insight into our past cash-in. This is the cash review page. Here we get a more detailed insight into our past cash-in and can identify those customers that struggle most to pay us on time and how their payment behavior and our prediction thereof has been over the past weeks. This page also enables us to identify the customers that historically have been the worst at paying on time. We can recognize the chart from the last page, comparing actuals and our historic forecast with the addition of a line indicating the difference in forecast versus actuals and two additional KPI on the left. The second KPI from the bottom, the difference in actuals versus forecast, displays how accurate our forecast has been. When hovering over this KPI, we also get a quick look at deeper information on it. The bottom KPI shows us the average delay of payment. At the bottom, you see what we call the tops and flops list. This is again what was displayed on the previous page in the delay of payments visual, but over the entire time frame and for all customers. When hovering over these customers, we also get an insight on when they were delayed by how much in paying their invoices. Next to it, we also have a map showing the location of where our invoices are sent to. As this is a Power BI report, we can use the tops and flops list also to filter our other visuals. For example, we can select this top customer to see how the forecast did for that specific customer. Now let's take a look into the future and turn our attention to the cash forecast page. Here we get a detailed look into what we can expect in the following weeks and identify who's likely to pay us soon. This can be valuable, for example, for sending out late notices or not, if we see that a customer is likely to pay us soon. Again, the most prominent chart we are already familiar with from the dashboard page. This is again the forecast by week with the best and worst case scenario displayed as lines in the same visual. The KPI here on the left are also known from the previous pages. Below, we have a few detailed KPI on the forecast. First, what we forecast for the next day. Second, what we forecast until the end of the month. And both of these visuals only include forecasted numbers. The third one, again, is forecasting until the end of the month. But now the visual not only includes forecasted numbers, but also actuals that have come in so far. For all three KPI, we also have what we call a forecast corridor, displaying the worst and best case forecasts for the respective KPI. If we feel like this is not enough detail, we can enable the detail view through clicking the pane at the top. Now we also have access to the customers that have the highest invoice amounts due for the next 30 days. And we can see what our AI is forecasting by how much they're going to pay late over these 30 days when hovering over the boss. If we're now interested to see a detailed analysis for a specific customer, we can perform a so-called drill through by right-clicking and selecting Execute Drill Through, Customer Details. Now we see a hybrid of both the dashboard and our detailed forecast page, but filtered for the specific customer that we drilled through to, in this case, BigMart. This can help us to identify and further analyze the payment behavior of our most important customers. Let's jump back to the cash forecast. These two tables at the bottom are identical to what we just saw in the drill through, however, not filtered to a specific customer. The table on the left gives us the open invoices for the next 30 days. These two tables are identical to what we just saw in the drill through, however, not filtered for a unique customer. The table on the left gives us the open invoices for the next 30 days by customer, invoice number, a due date for the invoice, and the forecast when the customer is going to pay them, as well as the resulting delay in days and the value of the invoice. The table allows us to oversee and quickly filter our invoices, for example, by customer or delay of payment. The last table shows the forecasted top runners and paying late, so that we can also analyze who these customers are and react accordingly, for example, by sending them reminders or other active countermeasures to limit late paying. That was our cash forecasting report demo. I'm now going to hand it over to Malte, who's going to explain our implementation approach.
Thank you, Lucas, for this great demo of our front-end solution. I will now focus on the necessary organizational steps to operationalize our solution. First of all, it is important to know that we will guide you through the process of implementation. We will start together with the kickoff workshop to clarify the individual technical and organizational setup. We will align with your IT and treasury departments and discuss if there are any special customizations required. Afterwards, we start the tenant preparation and set up the initial data load from the SAP ERP system. To assure that the loaded data meets the necessary quality standards, we conduct data validation sessions with business. When all quality gates are passed, the jobs for recurring data loads are established. The last step of the ramp-up phase is the end-user enablement. We train the users in handling the application and correctly interpreting the results. The whole ramp-up usually does not take longer than a month and guarantees rapid deployment. During the subsequent operations phase, it is always possible to monitor the model's performance over time. And if you need any assistance, verovis is there for you if you have any support ticket or change requests for enhancements. So if you would like to have a better and fully automated overview on your cash situation, we have some good news for you. Due to the Corona crisis, we currently offer a special deal. If you decide to implement our solution within the next couple of months, only a small implementation fee will be charged, but no license fee for the first 6 months of usage. If this has caught your attention, we would be happy if you contact us via the Microsoft AppSource Marketplace. You can search for SAP Cash Forecasting or just click the link on the slide.